First word of our in-transit introduction, bus. We're going to talk about the bus today. Would love to hear from you on our text line, 514-790-0800. Is the bus reliable? Are the buses that you have to rely on every single day to get to and from work or other places, appointments, do they show up? Are they on time? Are they reliable? Would love to hear your thoughts. Now, we had a listener reach out to us recently and say, no, they can't rely on the bus that they need to rely on. Let's get her story. Amanda Bechard's on the line. Amanda, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Tell me why you became so frustrated you had to start to reach out to us and others to make your case here. What led you to send that email?
Yes, so I live in Lachine, and the STM had the 191 bus that would come to Lachine, and the 496 Express, which is the one that I normally take. They've cut out the 191, so everyone's been taking the 496. I live at the end of the line, so one out of every three buses comes, and by the time they get to my line, to my stop, there's no more room on the bus. And 2 Fridays ago, I was in rush hour, so I started work at 7 p.m. I'm a massage therapist, so I have to be to work on time. I left my home at 5, which gives me 2 hours to get to work, and 2 of the 3 buses didn't come, and the third one came late. So I wasn't able to make my shift. I had to call my work and tell them I couldn't make the appointment.
So when you cannot rely on public transit, right? You need public transit to get to work. You can't rely on it. What are the effects? How does it impact your life?
It affects me financially. It's also very stressful to take 2 hours out of your day to make sure that you're getting to work on time when it should be just a 40-minute transit. Also, the buses are so packed that there's nowhere to hold on to. There's elderly that are on the bus that are, kind of being pushed around. And when the buses stop, everyone kind of goes flying. It's very dangerous. It's kind of inhumane as to the capacity of the bus as well. There's too many people on these buses.
So, this is speaking to me because I lived in Lachine for 10 years. I remember that 191 bus, particularly when I was like 18, 19, 20 years old, didn't have a car, and I needed that 191 bus. And, it could be havoc at times. So what are your options now? Like, are you considering getting a car? What are your options to get to?
I mean, Elias, I work in the old port. It's very difficult to find parking. So, we don't have the ability with the traffic and the parking situation in Montreal, and they're trying to discourage us to take our vehicles. So we're relying on public transportation, which is not reliable. I mean, the REM is kind of touch and go. I'm kind of feeling frustrated in terms of how do I get around in my city and make sure that I'm on time for my appointments without allocating more than 4 hours of my day to public transportation.
I find the people that have to use the service every single day, they are more aware of what the solutions really are than politicians or others that don't have to use those bus lines. So, Amanda, what's the solution in your mind?
Okay, so I've made a complaint. This is my second formal complaint to the STM. I received a response just before this phone call saying that they're going to be forwarding it to the proper department. I wrote back asking, can you keep me updated as to what solutions are going to be put in play? I feel like just things get kind of pushed to other people, and then we don't really know what happens. What's the end game here? How are we working towards making this a more efficient solution for everybody involved?
Do you think in your particular case, it comes down to, bringing back the 191 or increasing the number of buses on that 496, that express?
I mean, both solutions are good. I think the 191 was an extremely important bus line because it went through St. Henry, and it provided other stops and other ways for other people to get home. So that would be the ultimate solution, is bringing back the 191 so that people aren't all using the 496. I mean, putting more buses into play would be great, but just respecting the times that the buses should be there. Because if you're not getting 2 buses out of 3 and then the one bus comes, then it's too full, half the people are left at the stop. So you're talking about almost 4 buses. I mean, that's an hour and a half of waiting to get on a bus.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other solutions as well that we haven't thought of, but that would be great to bring the 191 back.
Before I let you go, one other thing that you touched on here that I want to just take a moment on, and that is what happens to passengers. you're not the only one there. You're standing in the line. You end up, as you wrote to us, in cramped buses.
Yeah.
What's happening amongst passengers? Like, what are you feeling when it comes to the atmosphere on public transit when you put people who've been waiting a long time into cramped buses?
Yeah, the tensions are high. I mean, people are not being as polite and as understanding as possible. I mean, I was sitting in a seat the other day and this woman kept falling on me. And as much as I'd like to be patient with this person, it's just kind of impossible when you're, stressed in this situation. So I think it's really putting a lot of pressure on the users, and people are not feeling like they're being fairly compensated for the service that they're paying for.
Amanda, listen, I got to leave it there. I want to thank you so much for sending that email and for talking to us this morning.
Thank you, Elias. Have a great day.
You too. Amanda Bechard, a listener who wrote to us about her trials and tribulations taking that 496 Express bus.
I'm Dylan Playfair.
And I'm Tyler Smith.
We're putting loneliness in the penalty box by talking to some of our favorite athletes about the importance of friendship.
This is Bromance.
Bromance is brought to you by Charm Diamond Centers, proudly Canadian-owned and operated. Charm has been part of your love stories and bromances for over 50 years. And you can find Bromance on the iHeartRadio network or wherever you get your podcasts.